Hi guys, it's Millie with Millie's Vines, and I am here with my first plant shop tour. So we are starting it off strong. This is probably my favorite place that is nearby me. This is in Phoenix, Arizona, and it is called the Jungle Box, and they are amazing. I would say they stand out to me because they have amazing rare plants, exotic plants, but they always have an amazing selection of your more like average and standard house plants along with terrariums. I think they actually do terrarium classes too. Just a really cool shop all in all. But I'm starting it off in kind of their main area. I will say you guys need to stay tuned for the greenhouses that I go through later. They are beautiful and so unique. I've never seen anything like them. But this plant I did want to shout out right here. I thought it was gorgeous. It's actually a philodendron Pluto, I'm pretty sure, even though it says Jungle Boogie. I came home with a smaller version of this plant from this day, and I love it. I don't think I'll talk throughout this whole entire video, but I always have lots of thoughts, so as I feel necessary, I will kind of walk you guys through. But I will say another thing that this shop has a ton of is different pots, different ceramics. They have a ton of really good soils, just different mediums that you would need either for houseplant soil or again terrariums. Also, this is a literal pineapple growing, which I just thought was so crazy. I had to highlight that. It's just a great one-shop stop, so I'm very happy that they let me film this video. I highly recommend checking them out. They are a wonderful plant shop. I had to get some footage of these. I believe these are just Monstera Addisonii, but they are giant. They also have a lot of Chinese evergreens that are gorgeous. This pot too, that I barely show, I thought was so pretty. The pair of that plant with that pot. But seriously, these are larger than my hands. I don't know how they got like that, considering they're not climbing, but super cool. They always have amazing air plants too, and then this wall that you'll see here shortly is one of my favorite things. They rotate the plants out pretty often, but I think it's so cool, and I would love to do a version of this in a home one day, but we will see. I feel like that plant right there is Philodendron Billetii, Billetii, I'm not sure how to say it. That I don't think it's the Spiritus Sancti. I'm just butchering those two, but I think it's one of the two. It's stunning regardless. Here we actually have some, I mean, aquarium, terrarium type situations, and then these are just some different items too that you can buy if you are making a terrarium, which who knows, maybe I will do one of those soon. But this is more of the terrarium section. These are the ones that are, I think, available for sale. They're super cool. And then, like I said, if you want to grab your own tank and do a class, they also help you out with that. There's some unique bark that you can buy, and these are just really cool. Even if you just come here to get ideas, I always look at these. They're just little tiny ecosystems. I think that's a little varicosum right there, and it's so cute, but they do such a good job with these. The detail is just fascinating to me. And then here are some of the substrates that they have. I think they have like leca balls too, so it's amazing. Not all of the plant shops in my area carry this much selection, so it's really nice. Yeah, here are the leca balls, which is amazing. Charcoal, really everything you need. And I think here we have some cute little dart frogs. I'm not sure, but they're always so fun, and I just feel like they're thriving. That is just the coolest little spot you could live in. Over there in that top right corner, we have a Brantanium, Philodendron Brantanium, I think. Stunning. I tried to grow that plant a couple times, and it died every single time, but I love it nonetheless. This tank was super cool too, a ton of detail. And there's another little froggy. So here we're going where the greenhouses are. We're getting close to you guys. I cannot wait to take a peek in there, but we had some pretty cool stuff over here. I'm about to show you guys a little ficus, which I thought was gorgeous. And then we also have some giant philodendron green Congos. These things are massive. They're an amazing houseplant. They do grow to be pretty big, so I would keep that in mind, but they're really nice plants. They have an amazing Monstera collection, cute little staghorn ferns. I really did contemplate getting that this day, but I didn't. This is where you can do the little terrarium setups. They have classes, you can come in and make some. Very cool. I would actually love to do that one of these days. And then here are pre-made little terrarium capsules that you can buy, which are also super unique. I have no idea what these guys are, but they're pretty interesting. Got a little Hoya down there. And then over here, I want to say these are kind of meant for terrariums or super humid environments just because of how they're enclosed, but a lot of rare plants. I think we have some Cebu blues there. We have some shingling plants as well, which are super cool. I think there's a philodendron, that cream variegated one on the left there. More aglaonemias, Chinese evergreens, whatever you guys call these, but great selections in here. And one thing I didn't even mention is their prices are so affordable considering how rare some of their plants are. Granted, these are pretty small specimens, but personally, I have found that I kind of like to start small and grow them big. That plant right there, I don't know if that's an Medrium or what, but it's gorgeous. Jewel orchids, we have a Syndapsis tribii moonlight. That might be a gigas that we just went through. Just so much variety. More philodendrons in here that are gorgeous. Most of these plants were like in the 20s, so they are a little bit smaller, but I think it's totally worth it. We have some begonias in here, monsteras. This guy was gorgeous. I think it's an alocasia. Stunning plant. We've got a nice little variety of different things over here. I actually loved this. This is some form of Dieffenbachia. My camera failed and let me down here. I don't know the variety, but I thought it was super cool. Kind of reminds me of a camouflage without all the like speckling. It was really pretty. And this is a Syndapsis. I think it might be a silver cloud. I'm not sure. I'm seeing a lot of different Syndapsis varieties coming to the market, which is super exciting. Here we have crotons. I think that's how you pronounce them. Don't get those unless you're putting them outdoors. That's just my recommendation, but they are pretty. So you can see they've got amazing like regular house plants, great prices, but they've also got a ton of more rare varieties. So this is the greenhouse we're going to go into later. Cannot wait. It's a really pretty aglaonemia, I think. Peperomia. Song of India. Gorgeous. I have one of these at home. And then this plant was stunning. I want to say it's like a lily of some type. I don't know. The color was really, really pretty on it. And these you'll notice are a little bit potted up, like ready to go. This is a ficus. Really pretty plant as well. I also love how colorful this shop is. It's just so much fun. I had to show this. The skull head is super cool. As you can see, they have a ton of pots, just really unique options, which I really appreciate. We have some string of turtles. I had that plant for like a week and it died, but it also had like a really creepy spider in it, so I'm blaming it on the spider situation. Cebu blue down there, more terrariums. And now we are entering their biggest greenhouse. So cool. Look at these aerial roots. I want to say this is a Medrium. I don't know. I love this plant. It's really pretty. Staghorn fern. Got some air plants. They used to have a Cebu blue growing up this corner, but it's kind of gone now. You can tell that the misters turned on the second I got in this room, and I filmed as long as I could, but my camera actually started to become like saturated, so I had to take a second. But the things we do for content. Rhaphidophora, I'm seeing. There's just a whole bunch. Alocasia, variegated syngonium. It is so cool to come in here and just see plants growing in environments that are really conducive to help them thrive. A ton of philodendron on this wall. I know they have a big philodendron iridescence that's been in here. You can see a staghorn fern right in front of us. I mean, that is just giant, super pretty. It's nice too because they rotate they have like resident plants here, but they also switch it up. Oh my gosh, this guy, I forgot. Absolutely stunning and great condition. Got some fuzzy petioles in here. I think there's a big old fern running throughout here. I want to say that this is a gloriosum down at the bottom, but I'm not totally sure. We got a Cebu blue down there that you can see. Another big staghorn fern. I think that's Monstera Peru, the textured one right there. Here's the Cebu blue. Absolutely gorgeous. It's one of my favorite plants to this day. And then you guys know what this is, Monstera obliqua. This one actually you'll see it's in bloom, which is just wild. That was such a cool experience to get to witness that. These leaves are probably like 2 feet long. There's the bloom. We got a varicosum there too, again, probably like 1.5 feet in length. That Syndapsis is stunning. This is a Philodendron Pluto, very mature. Got some begonias. This Dieffenbachia is getting so much light. It's so pretty. There's just so much color. And then I wanted to get the obliqua and the varicosum up close. I probably come to this plant shop like once a month. Sometimes I leave with things, other times I don't, but it's always fun to come into these greenhouses. It's always changing, it's always evolving, and it just gives me a ton of inspiration personally. Now we are going towards the second greenhouse area. It's a little bit smaller, but they've got more plants for sale, so it's kind of a cool mix. This is right outside of the greenhouse. And now we are entering into the second one, and you can already see we have such amazing, such gorgeous little specimens. A ton of variety in here. We've got some, I think these are philodendron fuzzy petioles. Fuzzy petioles. They're very small, but again, I think when you're collecting plants, it's actually better to start off small. I think you get more gratification watching a plant grow over the years, and it saves space, and they are inherently much more cheap. So that's been something I've tried to do recently. I love that silver plant right here. I don't know what that guy was. Here is kind of the resident plants that they have in the center. Those are not for sale, but these on the left are. They had a ton of varicosum. When I tell you guys I was fighting battles in here, not bringing these home, I think they were like under $30, and I wanted to get a couple, but I just do not have the environment for them right now, so I felt very proud of myself for leaving without them. This guy is another varicosum. You can see the red coming through there. I wanted it so bad, and they're priced really well. But one day, today was not the day. These are super cool too. I couldn't get my camera to focus. It's some type of philodendron. It's a super unique color. You can tell these plants are just so happy in here. Here we had some ring of fires, some variegated jungle boogies. I like these plants. I was contemplating getting one of these, but then other times they also look sickly to me, so I just couldn't decide, but they're really cool plants. Love this guy too. I forget the name of this plant, but it's really pretty. Here are the resident plants that are growing in the ground. I think that's a philodendron mayoi. It's kind of going crazy. Bunch of philodendron down here. Just so much variety. Begonias, peperomia. This is another philodendron Pluto. More begonia. Really nice variegation on that syngonium. Some of these towards the side are for sale, some aren't. That Syndapsis is probably the most beautiful Syndapsis I've ever seen. Cebu blue, just stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. I think it'd be really cool to grow some of these plants in the ground. They also have some orchids and just some like different plants on bark here in the center that I didn't get too much footage of, but I thought this Syndapsis was so cool. It's almost like shingling up this pole. Got a lot of silver alocasias down at the bottom. This was so cool. These plants are growing on like a piece of bark. Looks like there's a lot of moss on it as well. We've got some variegated philodendrons here. This actually looks like it might be like a mint variety. It looks pretty cool. Also kind of looks sickly at the same time, but I respect it. Again, with these Syndapsises, I just can't. They're so variegated, so beautiful. Philodendron Florida Ghost, it looks like. I truly could stay in here for hours. This is one of those plants from earlier that I don't know the name of. I believe it's a philodendron and it starts with an A, I think. Really pretty variegation down here as well. More Cebu blue. And now we are headed out to the outside. This is kind of where they keep more of their arid plants, desert plants. So again, you can see the variety is really unreal. We also have the resident little birds over here. I do kind of have bird fear, but they're super cool. They're very quiet, and they're kind of nice to hang out with. They've got a nice little play area. I'm kind of jealous. These guys are so cute. I love these. Monkey tail. They'll get super long. Definitely very sharp, but really cool plant. They've got the donkey tail. They've got string of dolphins, string of pearls. They were all over. Big bird of paradise. Big ficus right there. We've got some Tradescantia, I think is what you call that. Another bird of paradise. We've got a lot of succulents, eschaverias, just a ton of variety. A lot of these guys were in bloom too, which was really cool to see. This was such a cool plant. It looks like a skinny pine cone, and the coloring was just really unique. I loved that guy. I don't know if you guys are suckers for these desert plants. I 100% am. They've also got another little room back in the back that we'll go towards. These are gigantic. I should have got like a size comparison. These are those living stone plants. I forget what they're called. Haworthia? Something like that. We have some euphorbias down here. Some more cacti. I love these guys. They were super funky looking. We've got some bonsai here too, which I don't remember them having before, so again, they've just got so much variety. And then they have some plants that are potted up really nice over here. Euphorbia. Bunch of variety. These aloes are really pretty as well. This is a pretty interesting aloe. This guy's gorgeous. I loved these. They were like blue, green, red. I really kind of wanted one of those. Now we are going into the last little area. Probably takes me like a solid hour to get through this plant shop, which is not a bad problem to have. But we have a lot of random arid plants. I am not going to attempt to name off some of these, but a bunch of variety. All of these plants out here are obviously going to be drought tolerant. They're going to love a lot of light, and they're just going to be, I would say, lower maintenance overall. These are also super cool. These I actually haven't seen for sale too often, but I do see them in local, like, botanical gardens a lot. Last time I was here, I got one of these fishtail cactus, I think is what they're called. I have no idea what those are. And then these, the coloring are so cool. I don't know if these are Haworthias. I don't know. This was like a variegated one. I kind of wanted that one as well. But we are disciplined. If you guys have been following me for a while, I did go on a plant ban from I think like July, August of last year up until January of this year, so about 6 months. And it was a good test of discipline. And honestly, now that I go to plant shops after my plant ban, I'm really particular, I've noticed, which is kind of nice. So I feel like 3 years later, and I'm finally a little bit more disciplined, and I don't end up coming home with 6 plants every time I go run some errands. So it's kind of a nice spot to be in. I will say in the future I'm going to get a stabilizer for my camera. I did the best that I could, but I do get a little distracted when I'm filming, so hopefully once that comes in, I can have a little bit better of a filming experience for you guys. But we are towards the end, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much, and until next time.